All right, folks, welcome back, and good morning to Marv Law from Healthbridge Insurance. How you doing?
Good morning, fantastic.
Great. You've been busy, haven't you?
Really busy.
I mean, I see all these ads on radio and TV and social media, and all this stuff is popping up every time I open something up. I guess it's because I'm 65 or older, right?
Could be.
You know, I was surprised you had said that there are how many plans out there right now for Medicare?
Medicare Advantage, 47 plans this coming season, up from 35 last year.
Who makes those plans?
Well, certain insurance companies and carriers.
Okay.
They work with Medicare.
Got it.
And then they design the plans and determine all the benefits and the cost.
And then the government, the Medicare, says these plans are okay.
They mutually agree this will work, and then they put them to market.
Yeah, and what about dental or supplementary?
So on these Medicare Advantage plans, sometimes called all-in-one, they can add some things that straight Medicare doesn't always have. Like they can add dental, vision, chiropractic, transportation, and so those type of benefits that maybe not are on original Medicare.
All right, so the important thing are what are the annual enrollment periods?
Right, so every year, October 15th to December 7th is an annual enrollment period. That's the period where that's the only time they can change their Medicare Advantage plan or their drug plan, unless there's a qualifying event or there is an open enrollment the first quarter of the year. If they make a mistake and they feel like, oops, I shouldn't have done this, then they have one chance to maybe correct that and switch back the first quarter of the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's, so people really do have to pay attention. So what are the most common mistakes that you're finding that people run into?
Well, I think the most common mistake is they just decide on a plan that their neighbor's done, right?
Yeah.
Their golfing buddy or something, and they say...
You mean you don't talk to somebody like you?
Exactly. Somebody says, hey, I love my plan, and so they say, okay, that sounds good to me, and they do it. But they haven't checked the prescriptions, whether it's appropriate, maybe the doctors, does it work the way they want it to work? So that's maybe the biggest mistake I see is people aren't listening to maybe a professional, and they're just kind of doing what somebody else does, and they find out they might hate it. It might work for them, but most of the time it's not the best fit. For example, you go to the doctor, and you're going to have a different treatment than your spouse or your neighbor. So completely different needs. There's never a single company or plan that fits everybody.
We had talked about this at one point, but people that are moving in and out of an area also need to be concerned as well, right?
Great point, yes. So typically if people move from state to state, and sometimes from county to county, their plan discontinues, but it's an open enrollment. They can re-enroll in a plan that services that area. And they have 60 days after the month that they're moved to be able to make that. But it's real important for them to look at all the plans, because the plan that they had before they moved is going to be different than the plans that are here.
Right.
And they may not want to stay with the same company because of the benefits and the plans and the doctor network. So it's important to do an evaluation when people are moving here.
And it's not necessarily the price of the plan, but what the plan has that fits the specific needs of the individual, right?
Correctly. We look for whole value, right? Find out what's the best fit overall. Budget, benefits, weigh that all out and help our clients determine, and they choose, they self-select based on the education. We feel that informed clients make the best decisions.
Marv, I know that there's a lot of insurance brokers like yourself that are out there that are selling Medicare.
Sure.
Why the heck should I use you?
Well, so some agents will contract with a few companies, some with maybe only one, and we take pleasure and pride in contracting with all the top companies, and then some that maybe people haven't heard with. And so we do a careful evaluation. After 17 years in the business, I never feel like I've ever sold a policy, because all I simply do is listen, ask a ton of questions, and then I filter through the plans, find the best top 2 fit, for example, go review that, help them decide, and then offer an annual review every year to make sure they're on track, because stuff changes, plans change, their needs change from year to year. And most of the referrals, my business is all referral, and most of those come to me because they're kind of orphan They
Yeah.
don't really have an agent that's doing that for them every year. They enroll them, or they sign up, or they call the company and they got them enrolled. They don't really have anybody really walk with them on an annual, year-to-year basis to make sure it's the right fit for them.
Yeah, it's really similar to a broker for just general insurance.
Sure.
You know, typically once somebody signs up,
Mhm.
and I did that, and I
Uh-huh.
was with the same company for 25 years until I ended up talking to a broker, and I ended up saving a significant amount of money because the agent just simply wasn't paying attention and was just collecting their commissions over its side, right?
Absolutely.
And didn't care about it.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you're talking about doing an annual review. That's critical.
Mhm.
Because your health changes, right? And prices change.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you've got the best fit possible.
Correct. And yeah, exactly. All that changes. Yeah.
And then the other thing that it's a misnomer for a lot of people is they think that it's going to cost if they come to somebody like yourself, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our services, there's no charge for our services, and we're always transparent, so we inform that our clients don't pay us, and it's Medicare, so it's virtually all the same. Never matters to us what plan they choose. It's all the same to us. Doesn't affect their premiums. It's all the same. So we really do educate and inform, make sure it's the best fit, and the best part too is there's no cost for that services.
Yeah, here's a question. If I'm 65, do I have to do Medicare?
Okay, that's a great question. You don't have to, but if you don't, you should make sure that you have credible coverage through an employer group plan,
Okay.
or maybe VA, or military, some other source of health insurance. Otherwise, when you go to enroll later into Medicare, there's a late enrollment penalty. That penalty adds
Oh,
on to
really?
your Medicare premium, never goes away, okay? And so when people come to us and they're working past 65, maybe on an employer plan, we provide them with the right forms so that they can go to the employer and make sure we got the right documentation when they go into Social Security to get on their Medicare plan, not Social Security, but their Medicare plan, and they avoid that permanent late enrollment penalty.
So if someone's not taking Social Security, they could still get on to Medicare, is that
Correct. Yeah, those are two separate pieces. You can do Medicare only at 65 and over, and then Social Security, of course, depends on birth year, and that could be 62 for some people, but to 70.
Okay. What else would you think would be important to tell the folks at this point, because we're in that enrollment period, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Never hurts to get a second opinion.
Yep, I would agree.
And especially since there's no cost for that services, what do you have to lose?
Well, yeah, I mean, the information that they're providing really
Sure.
is not that significant, is it? In terms of, getting a second opinion.
Right.
I mean, it's not like getting a mortgage where you're providing all these bank statements, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. It's
much easier.
It's a very complex subject and issue, right? Industry,
Right.
but we make it so simple. People come out all the time and say, "Well, what do people do without you?" Right? My
Yeah.
wife always says, "Why would anybody not use your services?" And
Stubborn.
they feel that way. Well, it's not knowing.
But yeah,
right?
and I know people that really want to do their own reading about
Uh-huh.
what Medicare is
Sure.
and all the different possibilities.
That's great.
Yeah, but I'm not interested
But in the
trying
end-
to figure out 55 different companies.
Right, but in the end, let's get a professional opinion and see
Yeah.
how we've done. And usually they do pretty good, but there's always some tweaks we can make to help.
All right, so how can folks get a hold of you?
Well, they can go to healthbridgeinsurance.com on our website.
Okay.
That's great. They can even go on there and set an appointment in the calendar to come to our office.
Oh, that's easy.
Our office is in the Cornerstone Buildings at Country Club in Portola in Palm Desert,
Right.
74,000 Country Club. And my email address is marvlaw@healthbridgeinsurance.com.
I learned a lot. Thank you so much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you coming in.
Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend.
I will. You
All
too.
right.
Golf cart parade.
Golf cart parade, you got it.
Great. Thank
All right,
you.
thanks, Marv.
All right.